Will the float work with other limb-driven aero rests? Simple answer, yes. It was specifically designed for the Vapor Trail limb-driven rests, but it will work with others, and we will get into that with the next question. Can I use Hamske's rebound dampener? Yes, you can use this, although it is not recommended because it affects the function of the spring because of the weight of the dampener itself. If you feel that you need to use the dampener, you can do so by flipping the float in the inverse direction. That way, the spring does not have to work on bringing both the float and the dampener up at the same time. Which part of the activation cord should the float be installed? Every setup will be a little bit different and may require some trial and error to discover each bow's preference. We recommend installing the float in the top half of the activation cord. That way it is accessible to the shooter. Starting an inch or two away from the rest is recommended, and from there you can move it further down the cord closer to the limb. You can adjust the location by simply removing the material of the activation cord on the bottom and readjusting the cord on top. Is the float waterproof? As with our aero rests, we like to keep things simple, and making it completely waterproof would increase design and function complexity. Installing the float upside down will prevent moisture from building internally. All the components within the float are all non-corrosive. Is there a break-in period? We recommend working out as much of the stretch in the cord as possible. The knots may take a few cycles to settle in, and this can be worked out simply by just shooting the bow a couple dozen times, and that should do the trick. You may notice your launcher arm kind of raising off the shelf, and at that point you'll want to retighten your activation cord. The cord is settled and the float should be set. What if my launcher isn't fully upright at brace? Depending on the aero rest and aero combination, your launcher may not be fully upright at brace. As the bow is drawn, there is less weight that the aero rest has to pull up. Much like other limb-driven and cable-driven aero rests, the launcher arm will come up in the fully upright position at full draw. Last question, will there be an outro? Yes, if you have any questions or concerns, you can call us at 763-862-8870 or email thefloat@vaportrailarchery.com.
Break you and then